We're breaking into regular programming as we are watching for the threat of strong and severe thunderstorms. Latest is a tornado warning that is out for portions of Butler and Edmonson counties. So Butler and Edmonson counties until 5:45 Central Time this morning is where we are currently seeing that tornado warning at this time. We also have another newly issued tornado warning out for portions of Hart, Greene, and Taylor counties until 5:45 a.m. Central Time as well. So this is the broad view as we're looking at that line of showers and storms. It's developed right along the Western Kentucky Parkway. Now this line is essentially moving due east. Let's take a closer view towards Butler County and Edmonson County with this particular thunderstorm cell. You're looking towards the Jetson community, the Round Hill community. Those are the areas right now currently under this tornado warning. So you want to find your safe space right now. You want to get in the lowest level of your home, whether that be the basement, preferably if you don't have a basement, an interior closet or a bathroom, and you want to protect your head and you want to put as much cushion between you and the surrounding environment as possible, and staying away from doors and windows are the things to do here. So this is what we're watching, is the potential for spin up tornadoes. What we have is this line moving right along this warm front. So the warm front itself is actually causing these storms to spin. You actually notice how unusually warm it is this morning with temperatures well into the 60s. Now we got this line that is moving in. We can take a closer look to see what's going on inside the storm as we take a look at velocity. So that tells us the way the winds are moving inside the storm. So we're seeing areas of potential rotation. This is essentially near the Round Hill area. They're just right along the Edmonson County line there, and there into Butler County is where we are actually seeing that area of rotation. So that's the greatest area of concern, where you got those reds and greens meeting together. That indicates the potential for a possible spin-up tornado in that particular part of the thunderstorm cell. We can take a closer view. We can zoom in even closer just to show you some communities. So Big Reedy area, the Vineyard area, Round Hill area, and the Huff area. You guys are actually within the path of this storm, the Black Gold area. You guys are under this tornado warning again until 5:45 a.m. Central Time. We are going to continue to follow this storm as it's crossing over right now, right on top of the Butler and Edmonson County line. And so that's where we are seeing that area of concentration, where we are seeing that possible tornado with this. No confirmation if there's a tornado on the ground, but what this radar at least is depicting for us is the potential for a tornado to be in this particular thunderstorm cell. Now this line that's moving in, regardless, has had a history of producing some damaging wind gusts and also hail with this as well. So regardless if there's a tornado or not, we're still dealing with the threat for damaging winds and hail with these storms. And so this is essentially moving due east. And Mike, if you can put on a kind of just a storm track near the Round Hill area and just extend it east, say roughly, say 55 miles an hour or so, and just kind of put on, yeah, there we go. So areas Round Hill really on top of you guys right now. Windyville area, you're looking at 524. Lindsayville 525, Sweden area at 526. So you guys are within the path of this storm. You're looking, say, towards Bee Spring at 527. So Bee Spring there right in to just near Edmonson, or into Edmonson County there, and the Brownsville area is the areas where you want to already be in your safe place as this storm is going to continue to extend east, and it's moving pretty fast. Again, 50 to 55 miles per hour, quick moving storm that is headed your way, and Brownsville in the path of that, Stockholm in the path of that, the Straw community, Ollie community. If these areas sound familiar to you, you want to definitely be in your safe places. This is headed in that general direction. So it's moving due east, and it is, of course, bringing lots of rain and even some hail embedded with this storm as well. We can take another view. I know that there is another tornado warning that is out for portions. It was out for portions of now Hart County. That area of circulation, this is what we've been watching this morning. Now, Hart County, you guys did have a tornado warning earlier as well, and this is that same storm that is now moving east. Now we see the area of concern here where we're seeing that gate-to-gate shear essentially now into Greene County. So it looks like it has now exited out of Hart County and now into Greene County, and that will extend into Taylor County, and that's another tornado warning that goes until about 5:45 a.m. Central Time. We can actually take it back closer now, back to Edmonson County, now that that looks to have crossed over out of Hart County at this time. So focusing back now into Edmonson County, now this is just atop Round Hill. This is moving east. We can actually zoom in closer just to show you some roads and those communities. So Morgantown Road right along this area, C. Kinser Road, Siegel Road. These are areas that if these roadways sound familiar to you, you want to already be in your safe place right now, as these are the areas of concern where we are seeing rotation at this time. So this particular part of the cell is where we are seeing that spin. This is going to continue to move east. Again, right along Morgantown Road, those areas you really just want to be in your safe place. Lindsayville community, the Sweden community, say Woodside community, Ridgedale community, you guys already want to be in your safe place right now as this storm is crossing in that path, so in that general direction. Again, it is moving east at about 55 miles per hour, so a fast-moving storm that is moving across the area. Another thing to pass along to you, latest is the tornado watch that has been issued for the area, and I believe that tornado watch, Mike, as you mentioned, it was going out until about say 10 a.m. this morning.
Yes, I believe it's 10 o'clock is when that's going to be issued until, of course, that can be expired earlier than that. So as we continue to see the development of this storm, we're going to get a better idea about that. But the storm, not the Storm Prediction Center, but the rather National Weather Service in Louisville has issued that until about 10 a.m. as of right now.
Okay, so yeah, tornado watch. And is there a way we can show show that tornado watch out so people can see what counties are included in that for the remainder of the morning? So again, essentially, as we go throughout the morning time frame, this line, we're going to watch as this moves through the area. And that is going to, of course, along with this warm front, of course, give us that risk for spin-up tornado as a possibility as we go throughout the morning time frame. So that's the reason for the precaution for that tornado watch that has been placed out, I guess, for the entire, most of the area that goes until about 10 this morning. So we're looking at this right now, and you really see with the velocity returns areas of rotation, and now that is where we are seeing into say there into Edmonson County now. So this is now crossing out of Butler County and now into Edmonson County, where we are seeing that potential rotation with that. And we can actually go closer back into view just to show folks the communities once again. So we're just going to stay on top of this storm. Round Hill area, now that area of rotation is just east of you guys. And we're looking towards the Segal area, the Huff area, and even towards the Asphalt area. Windyville area there into Edmonson County. This is again drifting east, or generally moving east in that direction, where we are seeing that possible spin with this storm. And so this is the latest update there. Now it's getting even closer to the Windyville area. Now we're looking towards the Black Gold area. You want to already be in your safe place, as this storm is right on top of you, and that greatest concentration of where we are seeing that possible spin is right on top of you at this time. Now, you're probably hearing a lot of wind. You're probably also hearing some hail as well. Is there any reports on kind of the size of hail with some of these storms, Micah?
Well, we do have that severe thunderstorm warning out there, as well as the tornado warning, that we do see some hail out there that could be about 1/4 inch. Some are going to be a little bit lower, closer to about 3/4 of an inch. But as for that, as we've gone throughout the duration of the overnight, tonight we haven't seen anything larger than that. So not looking at the nature of this storm, we're not looking at anything larger.
Gotcha. So greatest concern, of course, is robust gusts, damaging winds, and obviously the tornado risk now that we have that tornado watch that is out. So the reason we do have the spin-up tornado risk, again, as I mentioned, is the warm front. So the warm front itself in the atmosphere already creates spin. So these storms that are moving essentially right where that warm front is already dealing with some turbulence out there. So that's what we're dealing with as far as that goes. And you may have noticed it's just been unusually warm. I mean, temperatures decided to increase overnight as that warm front lifted. And in fact, we were just a few degrees shy, or maybe even closer to 1 degree shy of 70 degrees this morning. So just to put that in perspective, how unusually warm it is this morning with this air mass that we're dealing with. So a great indication of the risk for severe storms is when you have a strong warm air advection, especially overnight. So, and with that risk for storms. So that's why we're keeping a close eye on that. There is a severe thunderstorm warning out for portions of what looks like Hart County and there into Greene and Taylor counties to about 5:45 a.m. Central Time. That is right along, that does include the Munfordville area and they're near Bonnieville. So those are the areas right now currently under a severe thunderstorm warning. I do see a little bit of spin with this, but it's not quite as pronounced as some of the other scans that I've been seeing. But we'll have to keep a close eye and see how these systems evolve, because you can get a quick spin up and then it can go away and they can come back up again. And so that's something that we'll have to watch for this morning. Latest with this, it looks like they've shaved off the part of this tornado warning that is out now for portions of Edmonson County. So that does include the Brownsville area. And you can really see there right near the Windyville areas where we are seeing areas where we could still see that rotation. It's looking a little broader now, but we're still seeing the indication of a possible spin with this storm. So this is again now near the Windyville area, Bee Spring area, and just headed towards the Brownsville area. So you're going to likely deal with some gusty winds with this. I think this particular line has a history of producing gusts in excess of 57 miles per hour. So anything that's exceeding that likely also doing some damage to potentially some trees and power lines out there this morning. And we'll have to wait later in the morning to see if there's any reports of power outages in some of these areas. But again, just a noisy morning for some as we're dealing with the threat for severe storms. Now let's take a broad view, and also, Mike, if you can switch it back to regular radar view. And then also just to show everyone what's going on. So this line actually extends as far north into eastern Kentucky, central Kentucky, those areas, and then extends far south now, say towards Todd and Logan counties. Now, there's no severe warnings attached with these storms, but we're still going to keep a close eye as these storms are kind of just trailing right along this line as they continue to progress eastward. But I will say the majority, at least the areas of most energy with these storms, are the areas currently highlighted with those severe warnings at this time. So that's what we're dealing with so far. Munfordville, you guys, again, under a severe thunderstorm warning. So that's Hart and Greene counties until about 5:45 a.m. this morning. And then there you see that other tornado warning there. That now is for parts of Greene and Taylor counties until about 5:45 a.m. as well. So we have a couple of tornado warnings and then also a few severe thunderstorm warnings that we're dealing with this morning. And then especially for those who have an early morning commute, you just want to really be mindful of that, especially in those areas into Hart County, especially right along I-65 there, as it's busy on those roadways as far as the rain goes. So that's what we're dealing with so far. We can take a closer view back towards Brownsville now, and it looks like the storm is right on top of you guys at this time. You're seeing those pretty vibrant hues. So where we got those magentas, that's indicative where we could see some heavier burst of rain and also hail embedded with this as well. And as Micah mentioned, you said something about quarter or less than a quarter sized hail earlier is what we could be dealing with some of these storms out there this morning. So
correct.
That's what we're seeing so far. Edmonson County under that tornado threat right now until about 5:45 a.m. Central Time. So again, right on top of Brownsville, you guys are really right on the cusp now of this storm that is now approaching your area. The Windyville area, you guys, of course, got in with the brunt of this. It looks like you're still seeing some heavy rain with this as well, and as well, especially for the Bee Spring area. But an area of greatest concern is where you're seeing this magenta color here. That could be where we are dealing with the strongest part of that storm, which is where you'll find hail embedded with that as well. So again, until about 5:45 a.m. Central Time. The time's about 5:28, so we got about a little bit over, say 15 minutes or so with this storm warning that will continue in those areas. Let's take a closer view and also put back on the velocity scan just to see where that area of rotation is. So again, it's now looking at towards, it just updated, so now just east of the Lindsayville area and right on top of Brownsville, Kyrock area there into Edmonson County. So you got the reds going away from the radar, greens going towards the radar, and you get those two together. That combined gives us that indication that this storm is rotating right now. So where we are seeing that is generally in this area. And Micah, do you know how to, if you can circle just that general area of what I am talking about? Yes, so right over here in this area is that general area of concern for that possible spin-up tornado. So that's why the National Weather Service and Louisville has issued this tornado warning for those areas, as we've just been seeing from latest scans, consistent runs here of gate-to-gate shear. So that poses that risk, at least with radar, kind of tells us, poses that risk for a possible tornado with this storm. So again, right on top of Brownsville is where we are currently seeing that rotation. We can also put on some, zoom a little closer to see if we can see some roads on there once again. So we are looking right towards Houchins Parkway there, or Houchins, yeah, Ferry, excuse me, Houchins Ferry, those areas there, and right along Ollie Road in those areas right into Brownsville. Those are the areas of concern. You want to already be in your safe place at this time. And then we can even go further a little bit towards the north here just to show the Woodside area and then Nolan Dam Road. These areas, Skyrock Road, Black Gold Road even, these are the areas where you want to already be in your safe place, as this is essentially right on top of your area, or at least where it's showing that area of possible spin with this storm. So not necessarily a confirmed tornado, but it's a possibility that there could be a tornado with this storm. So you want to, of course, take precautions and practice safety as we go about this morning as well. You already want to be in your safe place, which is, again, the lowest level of your home, away from doors or windows, any exterior openings. A basement, the best place to go. But if you don't have a basement, an interior closet or a bathroom, and you also want to put as much cushion between you and the surrounding environment, whether if that's a bicycle helmet or a hard hat, or if you have blankets, pillows, all of that, you want to do that during a tornado warning. So this, again, is essentially on top of Edmonson County right now, where we do have that tornado warning, at least in the News 40 viewing area at this time. And there you see that area of rotation, again, essentially right now on top of the Brownsville area. Micah, do you mind showing folks, I did mention finding your safe place. There is a graphic that I can show you guys as far as tornado safety. There we go. So where's my safe space? And the best place to go is in the lowest level of your home. So again, the basement is preferably the best part of your home to go to. Of course, it's underground. It's a sturdier section of your home. But if you don't have a basement, again, you can go to an interior closet or a bathroom on the lowest level of your home and away from doors and away from windows. Let's pull up the alerts map. I believe that is in there as well. There we go. So there's that alerts map that is out. And we do have what is now the tornado watch. So the areas that are shaded in red, so that includes Butler County, Logan County, and places east until 10 a.m. Now, what I think will happen is once this line actually moves further east, we're going to see these counties, but like Butler and Logan counties, that's going to get chipped away here throughout the morning. So, but again, mid to late morning is where we are going to be watching for that threat for a possible spin-up tornado. And the areas that are currently flashing in red are currently under the tornado warnings at this time. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. Let's show you just how warm it is as well. We got temperatures that were ranging in the 60s and just a couple degrees shy right now of 70 degrees is where we are currently sitting at here in Bowling Green. You see elsewhere 65 in Glasgow, 65 in Edmonton. So that should tell you enough. Yeah, the air is unusually warm this morning. And we also have that risk for storms, some of which could be strong and possibly severe out there. So that's what we're dealing with so far this morning. And, you know, kudos to Micah, who's over there manning the computer this morning. Do you mind switching over to the AAA Systems live cam by chance, just to show everyone what it looks like, at least here in Bowling Green? So Bowling Green, right now, we're not under any kind of active warning, but you really see those clouds that are just overhead. I mean, it is just thicker skies that we are going to be watching for this morning. And that is current view, at least from the Reservoir Hill camera, as we're looking towards the campus of WKUC, the Cherry Hall area there, kind of just lit up in red this hour. But that is what we are seeing so far as the current view. Now let's switch back over to radar. And just to show you what's going on as we are still following this tornado warning that is out for Edmonson County. Now, I do want to point out right along I-165 and there into portions of southern Butler and right in northwestern Warren County, we are starting to get a storm moving in. That's not a severe warm storm that is moving into the area, but that is going to continue to drift through the east. And at this time, it's at least not severe warned. The current warnings that we do have is, again, for portions of Hart and Greene counties until 5:45, where you have that severe thunderstorm warning, and then a tornado warning for portions of Greene and Taylor counties. And then, of course, the focus here is for Edmonson County. So let's zoom back into Edmonson County just to show you how this storm is progressing as it moves east. You can actually kind of see a little squiggly tail on that particular storm there towards the Windyville area, and then just atop Brownsville. So we are still seeing areas of rotation with this. It's still looking broad, but now we are seeing that more focused. Looks now like now east of Brownsville. We can zoom in a little closer, just west there of Stockholm and then the Ollie community. These are the areas right now that are under that area of rotation. So it looks like they just updated that tornado warning as well. So they chipped away portions of Edmonson County, and now they are extending this just east of Brownsville. Oh, it looks like they did not chip that away. They extended the warning. So there we go. So this warning has been extended. Let's talk about that. Until 6 a.m. So we're going to stay on the air until 6 a.m. and follow this along here. But this is now for Edmonson County. That includes Mammoth Cave. We're also looking at Hart County at this time. And am I missing? There is, yeah, that's Edmonton and Hart counties until about 6 a.m. this morning. So that is what we are dealing with. That is going to be an extension of what it's already a tornado warning in Edmonton County. So the National Weather Service is still seeing that spin with this storm that's been consistent with each scan. And so they're going to go ahead and extend that warning to include Hart County. So I do want to point out, earlier Hart County had a tornado warning. Horse Cave was not in that tornado warning earlier this morning, but this is a new tornado warning. So the Horse Cave community, you guys are now in that tornado warning at this time. And so that means that you want to already find your safe place. Now let's put a storm track, Micah. Let's just kind of, yeah, right over here, and then 50, 55 miles per hour, give or take. And let's put those communities up there. So Stockholm right now at 539 is what you are seeing so far. The B area at 542. Tom John's Crossing at 545, Northtown at 546. And so these are the areas here, Logsdon Valley there, or Logsdon Valley that is, until 5:49 a.m. So these are the areas where you already want to be in your safe place at this time, as this is approaching your area quickly within the next 10, 15 minutes or so, where we are seeing this storm again advancing due east this hour in those areas that are currently under that tornado warning, and that goes until about 6 a.m. again for portions of Edmonton and Hart counties at this time. So Edmonton and Hart counties currently in that tornado threat with this storm, and you really see that center of circulation now all over top the Stockholm area and near Mammoth Cave. And this is going to continue to push eastward at this time. As far as things go, Mike, is there anything new from the National Weather Service, Chad, or any updates as far as storm reports with this line?
As for storm reports, we don't see anything in those modes of what we're seeing as of right now. Of course, as you had just mentioned, they extended that tornado warning over towards the east into Hart County. Those communities that you just highlighted are under potential for that tornado warning to be in their community. But as for what we're hearing from the NWS in Louisville, we're not hearing all too much, just hearing about expirations of the severe thunderstorm warnings and the tornado warnings being extended. But I want to point out a little bit about this warm front, as you were mentioning. We have seen over these last hour and a half this warm front really develop this storm. This one specifically, we saw a special weather statement get put out about an hour and a half ago for Butler County, and as it has developed, we saw it quickly after that, very briefly after that severe thunderstorm warning popped, and then very briefly after that, we saw the tornado warning be added, and now it just continues on its way towards the east.
And it's interesting how quickly things have just kind of evolved, really. You know, it's just been kind of a lot of dead space between, say, midnight and around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and then we started to see these storms just develop quickly. As a line of storms that developed quite quickly and right along the warm front, which was the boundary area that we did focus. You know, we told people, you know, the warm front is going to be our lifting mechanism for these storms. It's going to be the reason behind that risk for some damage winds, as well as that risk for spin with some of those storms as well. So that's what we're seeing this morning. And, you know, I'm going to keep pointing out it's been unusually warm as well. I mean, temperatures were incredibly warm this morning. The drive into the station was warmer than yesterday afternoon. I mean, we spent most of yesterday in the 40s, and then temperatures just kept rising overnight. So that's as that warm front has lifted into the area, and now we are seeing storms in the mix, and this is what we are getting so far this morning. Again, for portions of Edmonson and Hart counties, that does include Horse Cave as well as Munfordville, Mammoth Cave area in this tornado warning at this time. So you're seeing this area, again, greens and reds meeting together is where we are finding that couplet, velocity couplet, where we are seeing that potential for spin. And so right now it's still in Edmonson County near the Hart County border there. So you see that right in this area just north of Mammoth Cave. We can actually put on some, or zoom in a little closer to show more towns and communities. So Tom Johns Crossing, you are in the path of that, the B area right now. It looks like you are currently dealing with what could be a potential spin-up tornado with this storm. So Forestville, or Forestville that is, and then also Logston Valley. These are the areas that are currently in the path of this storm. Northtown area currently in the path of this storm, as well as this is continuing to move east, again across portions of Edmonson and Hart counties. And this warning goes until about 6 a.m. And so we are still following this closely as this line is going to progress towards the east. It is a fast-moving storm. I mean, it is moving east at 55 miles per hour. And it also has wind gusts, or, you know, winds, sustained winds likely with it near 60 miles per hour as well. So that's enough to also cause damage to some trees and power lines out there, which is why, you know, we're going to wait later to this morning to see if there's any reports of power outages with some of these particular storms that are moving through the area this morning. But again, Edmonson and Hart counties until 6 a.m. this morning. We still have the 5:45 a.m. It's about to expire here in about 3 minutes or so for Edmonson County, at least for western Edmonson County. But this new warning attached with it is Brownsville, and that extends east until about 6 a.m. is when that is set to expire. Let's zoom out and see if is there any new warnings that have been issued since then, or we are still seeing it. Okay, so they have a new warning out for Casey County and Taylor counties, but this one as well showing some rotation with that. So we'll have to see. It's literally right around where this warm front is where we are finding these storms kind of interacting with that warm front, is where we are seeing that possible spin with these storms. So that's what we are dealing with this morning. And you see those numerous warnings there that it extends from Casey County through, it looks like that's Marion County there, and then all the way as far south into Edmonson County this hour is where we are seeing those severe warnings, with the tornado warnings for Greene and Taylor counties, as well as for Edmonson and Hart counties at this time. And again, the newest warning issued, at least newest tornado warning issued, is for Edmonson and Hart counties, and that does include the community of Horse Cave included in that tornado warning, as well as areas like Munfordville. So we're taking a closer look back to this particular storm, and so there you see there, this is that storm where we are still following the shear here. So again, this is pretty indicative of a possible spin with this storm. Not indicative that there's actually a tornado on the ground, but these scans have been so consistent in showing that spin. In fact, Mike, if you don't mind showing a loop of this, just to show viewers what I'm talking about. So as this continues to move east, you really still see how this is still kind of organized as far as the shear in this storm. So it's essentially moving east. It worked its way through Edmonson County, even portions of Butler County as well with the same storm. And now it is still continuing to move east, and it looks even more pronounced with this newest scan as well, as it's crossing now into portions of Hart County. So that is near, and we can zoom back in now. It looks like it's near, let's see here. So that is just west of Munfordville. This is again now into crossing over from Edmonson into Hart counties at this time. So this is right along where we are seeing that center of circulation south of Cub Run and in those areas and just near the Horse Cave community. And so, Mike is drawing that out for you just to show you where we are still seeing that. So we're continuing to follow that closely this morning for that possible spin. We can zoom in closer as well just to show some of those roadways and other communities that could be potentially in the path of this storm. So you're looking towards Northtown, Tom John's Crossing, Forestville Road. So these sound familiar to you. You want to already be in your safe place. Logston Valley, in those areas, and then Walker Stewart Road, those areas, Flint Ridge Road. You already want to be in your safe place. This is where we are seeing that spin with this storm at this time, at least a particular part of the storm that is over in your area. So you want to already be in your safe place. What is your safe place? Lowest level of your home, preferably a basement if you don't have a basement, an interior closet, a bathroom, first level of your home away from exterior doors and windows, and protecting your head, duck and cover, as well as protecting yourself from you and the surrounding environment as much as you can. So whether that's with blankets, pillows, bicycle helmet, or a hard hat, the best you can do to protect yourself in this situation. So here we go with the storm, latest on it, and the latest scan showing right on top of Northtown now and near Tom John's Crossing as this is racing east. Munfordville in the path of this storm. So I just want to point that out. Horse Cave, you are included in this tornado warning until 6 a.m. Time's about 5:47, so we're still on for a little bit more here. It looks like a little less than 15 minutes is when this warning is set to expire, but I do want to point out that this is still showing some spin, consistent spin with this particular cell. So we'll see how this evolves and see whether or not this gets extended or not to include some more counties just east of Hart County. So again, Hart County and Edmonson County under this tornado warning until about 6 a.m. and then right on top of Tom John's Crossing and near the Northtown areas is where we are seeing that pronounced rotation with this storm. We can pull up regular radar, or at least the what we call reflectivity. And so that's what we're seeing so far. And notice how vibrant these colors are. It looks like they have allowed that tornado warning that was out for portions, at least the western portions of Edmonson County, to expire, by the way. But you really see those vibrant colors And you can already see, I mean, it's just kind of like a tail, how it's tailing like that, and then it's just kind of the nature of this storm. I mean, it's spinning, and it's going to continue to move eastward at this time. Right on top of Munfordville, or at least headed towards Munfordville at this time, the leading edge of that storm is approaching your area. And then Horse Cave, you guys should also be hearing lots of thunder. Of course, you're hearing the sound of the sirens as well. But that is approaching your area as well. And this is continuing to move due east. You really see where that rotation, even with reflectivity, where that rotation is really showing up, as well as how it's just kind of looping through that area and that at this time. As far as things go, again, this tornado warning until 6 a.m. and we're still following that this morning. It is pretty early to be dealing with a tornado warning. I mean, no one likes to deal with a tornado warning, let's be honest, but yeah, it's really early to be dealing with this. I mean, while most of us were sleeping, you know, we were up really following the risk for these storms. We saw just how warm, unusually warm it got before these storms really arrived. Here we go. So the latest update, they chipped away Edmonson County. And so now this is just for Hart County until 6 a.m. So Edmonson County no longer included in that tornado warning. And you can still see where that area of rotation is, just west of Munfordville and near the Horse Cave area. We can pull up velocity once again just to show everyone how the winds are moving within the storm. So that's what that tells us. You really still see where we have that greens and reds meeting. We can zoom in a little closer. This is just north of Horse Cave and just west of Munfordville, but it is approaching your area there in Munfordville. So if you are in Munfordville, hopefully you're already in your safe place this morning as we are dealing with the threat for a possible tornado with this storm. Rolette's community there, Woodsonville community there, I believe that's what that said, Woodsonville. These are the areas right now where you want to already be in your safe place. L and N Turnpike, those areas, if these roads sound familiar to you, Tommy Tom's Road, Lanoke Road, these are the areas where you already want to be in your safe place at this time, as that particular part of the storm where we are seeing that rotation is going to be crossing over into your area. So again, we are still following this closely this morning. This tornado warnings is set to expire at 6 a.m. Obviously, we have News 40 Sunrise that comes in at 6 a.m. So regardless, we're still going to keep you informed about these storms as they're moving through this morning. But this is what we're dealing with as far as that severe weather risk goes. So again, this is going to cross over into those areas essentially here within the next 10 or really less than 10 minutes or so in some of these areas as well. Hardyville included in this tornado warning. The Cameron community also included in this tornado warning that goes until 6 a.m. So we can put back on another storm track and we can just kind of start it from there and then extend eastward, say roughly 55 miles an hour with this storm. So again, if this were to continue to hold together, this storm would eventually be approaching just eastern areas towards Greene County is where we could be looking for this storm, if it holds together, where they could potentially extend that tornado warning for those areas. Now, they haven't extended it, but they could potentially extend it because we've been watching them, keeping a close eye on this area here of interest where we are still seeing that spin with this. So communities, Rolette's 5:53 a.m. We're looking at Funnel Crossing at 5:58, Rex at 5:59, Hardyville right at 6 a.m., Pascal, those areas, 6:03, Three Springs at 6:03, and those areas as this will continue to move east. This hour, again, it is moving east roughly about 55 miles an hour with wind gusts right around 60 is what we are dealing with some lightning, of course, frequent lightning with this storm as well. I mean, this line is somewhat, you know, it's gaining pace as well right along this warm front, and that's where we are, of course, encountering where these storms are encountering that is that turbulence that is in the skies thanks to that warm front. So that's what we are dealing with so far. Mike, is there any new data or anything new coming in?
We do have a special weather statement So nothing to bring you in the way of severity, though that does look to be outside of our area. It's more close to the Richmond area of Kentucky.
Okay, gotcha.
So not in the region, but as we get the broader view, we do see that still tail edge of this line of storms that we've been looking at, that we've been seeing to see if it's going to act a little bit differently and kind of similarly to what we saw with these last two storms. But so far, it looks like that one is keeping fairly independent and not going under the same influence of the warm front.
Gotcha. So that's what we are dealing with so far. And notice for Bowling Green, we're actually getting in with showers and thunderstorms at this time. That's actually right across Warren County. No severe warning with that. So I just want to point out there's no severe warning with this particular cell that is right into Warren County at this time. The only warning, the biggest warning that we're seeing so far is the warning for Hart County, where we do have that tornado warning that is out until 6 a.m. So it's going to expire here in about 5 minutes or so with this particular storm. And so you can really still see with the velocity that we are still seeing that spin there. We can take a closer look back once again into Hart County now and those areas. So this is just near Munfordville and the Horse Cave area. And I will say with this new scan, it doesn't look as pronounced. Maybe it's encountering some clutter there, but it doesn't look as pronounced as the previous scans looked as this storm has paced eastward. And again, it is moving rather quickly, right around 55 miles per hour this morning across Hart County towards the Hardyville area, the Canmere area there into Hart County as well, right on top of Munfordville and Horse Cave. You guys are getting in with some very gusty winds at this time as this storm is moving east, generally east again, right around 55 miles per hour. So it's going to continue its eastward track. It's going to eventually work its way across Greene County. And there's a potential that the National Weather Service may extend that warning. But with this latest scan, I'm just not seeing as pronounced rotation, at least with this particular scan. Now, some of these scans can sometimes get hindered by whatever's going on the ground. But as we go throughout the morning, looks like this thing has been somewhat consistent, at least for the last past scans of showing some rotation with this. So that again is moving east, and it is going to again affect areas like Hardyville, Canmere area, and already on top of Munfordville and Horse Cave at this time. Again, this expires at 6 a.m. That is coming up here in just about 4 minutes with this particular severe warning, tornado warning that is in that area. We can take a broad view just to show everyone again what's going on. So this is a line of storms right along the warm front that also is not only bringing the risk for severe storms, but also bringing the risk for flooding. You see there across northern and central Kentucky, where they actually have flood warnings out for those areas. But meanwhile, for us, we are still dealing with this. And it seems like this line of storms, I mean, it's still trailing right now into Warren County, where we are getting in with a strong storm. Nothing severe attached with this. I do want to point that out for Warren County. Nothing severe associated with this, but that is a strong storm that is going to be working its way atop the area. Is there a way we can actually show the Relay Systems live cam just to show you what's going on? And we can take a live look at downtown Bowling Green with a view of the sky, see if we can see any lightning. You see those clouds that are moving in, and so that is what we're dealing with. But check this out, 66 degrees is the current temperature right now. It is 5:57 in the morning. It is 66 degrees. Around this time yesterday, we were in the 40s, so it's about a 20-degree difference of what we're seeing this morning compared to yesterday morning. So a lot of this, again, happened overnight where we saw these temperatures just continue to rise with that warm front, and now we're dealing with those turbulent skies this morning, and we're seeing the severe activity across the area this morning as well, especially for areas like Hart County that still continue to deal with that tornado warning that goes until about 6 a.m. So we'll, of course, keep a close eye on that. You see the raindrops that are now working their way in into downtown Bowling Green this hour. So there you see the rain falling, and of course, the way the rain is falling is indicative that we are also dealing with some gusty winds as this storm is approaching the area. So we'll of course keep a close eye on that as we go throughout the remainder of the morning. I do also want to point out that we still have that tornado watch that goes out until 10 a.m. for parts of the News 40 viewing area, as we are still going to be dealing with that. But I do think as this line progresses eastward, we'll see these counties chip away, like Butler and Logan counties, and maybe even Warren County by the time the storms eventually will pass through the area. So again, tornado warning out for Hart County that goes until about 6 a.m. this morning. Looks like they also issued they extended, or did not extend, but they did add a severe thunderstorm warning with this for portions of Greene County, and it looks like now Metcalfe County, all associated with the same storm that is attached with this tornado warning for parts of Hart County. So what that's telling me is that they're not going to extend the tornado warning for those areas, but they are going to allow that tornado warning to expire, which is here within the next minute or so. Of course, we'll keep you informed and alert and up to date as we pretty much go throughout the morning. But you want to stay tuned. News 40 Sunrise is going to start here in the next little bit, and of course, we'll continue to track the latest.